Obviously, huge news coming after market here in your SPY. We ended the day at 564.52, but we don't care about that. We care about what happened and why after market. So, what happened? We dropped about 20 points. We're currently trading right around 545. We had a low of 542 in aftermarket. So, we're basically more or less 20 points off of our previous, or I'm sorry, off of our close from just about almost 4 hours ago or so. So what happened? Well, Trump announced reciprocal tariffs. They actually went into effect. So it was about a 10% base tariff on all countries. And our tariff percentage on imports now is 22% compared to just 2.5% last year. So Trump's saying, hey, America has been looted, been pillaged all these years. We're finally going to get our fair share back. So that is the reasoning behind all this. That is why the market currently is down here where it is. So since we are down here in aftermarket, now we have to try to figure out where our supports and resistances are going to be for the upcoming trading session, which is going to be tomorrow. So we have a little support down here right at this 538. And it looks like we have a resistance basically right here at this 550 because that was a huge support for us here. So we're going to open up our daily chart and we're going to kind of work our way backwards actually. So usually we start with the higher time frames and work our way down. So we start with the 4 hour to kind of see where we're at. And then now we're just looking at the daily to see if those points are still going to make sense to us here. So 550, that is still going to be it was a nice resistance for, I'm sorry, support for us here in March as well as early as this week. And now it is going to be turning into a resistance for us going forward. So we're about 5 points off. So we could easily gap up to this tomorrow. If we are above 550 tomorrow, then we're going to be back in this 550, about 565 channel again. That's kind of how we were setting up this week. And it looks like the 9-day EMA in here, currently trading at that 563 and 99 mark, just call it 564, is going to carry some weight. So if this 9-day EMA does pull back here, if we stay down here for a couple days below the 550s or right at the 550s, this 9-day EMA will come down with it because it is weighted to the most recent date. So that's what exponential moving averages, that's how they work. So it is weighted to the most recent date. So therefore, the sooner we kind of stay down here, then that means the 9-day EMA will follow us down here as well. But anyway, above 550, we're going to be in between the 550 and that 565 mark or the 9-day EMA, whichever one does come first in here. So if we're going to stay below the 550, say we open up at 548 tomorrow, 547, anywhere in there, then we're going to have this channel in here about 550 to down here to this 538 level. So we have to figure out where our support's going to be. Is it going to be at 540 or is it going to be down here at 538? It looks like the 538 is going to be a better support for us. You can see all the way back in September, it was a nice support in here, good support in July. If you go all the way back into June, just a nice resistance all throughout the month of June, just banging up against that 538 mark. So that is going to be a good support for us if we end up opening down here in between these two ranges, or if we open up right on that 538, that's going to be even better because then we'll have all the volatility already priced in. And then hopefully it can just kind of rocket ship for a little while tomorrow morning up to this 550 mark. We'll have to wait and see. Usually on a big pullback overnight, you get a nice little pop in the morning. So we're going to see how vicious and how strong that pop will be tomorrow. So that is our levels. We're looking at 538, 550, 565. Those are the three areas that we're going to watch. It's all going to be kind of dependent on that 550 mark. That's kind of the magic number in here, right? So above 550, all right, cool. We'll see what's happening here. Below 550, all right, boom. Then we know that we have a support down here at 538 for our max pain. So obviously RSI and the volume, nothing really to worry about because we have a huge pullback in here. So everything's going to change by tomorrow. And speaking of changing by tomorrow, volatility is going to be kicked in. So all these IV ranks that we have right now, 38 expected moves about $19 by tomorrow's expiration, all that's going to change. So we don't really know exactly what everyone is currently pricing in. But we do know by the end of today's trading session, everybody's pricing in right around a $20 expected move in here by tomorrow. So I'm not sure if this is actually correct because I know that the markets are still trying to catch up with the volatility that just happened. So it looks like $20 expected moves each day for the next week. And if you go all the way out to your next Friday's expiration, it looks like $24 expected move. So we could get a big whip in here depending on how far we're going to open up down here tomorrow. If we open up the 538s, that's fine. We'll probably sit on it and then we'll rip up. If we open up here about the 545s, we might have to bounce off bang our head up against this 550 first before a couple times before we actually breach it and then hold. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow for sure. But again, 538, 550, 565, those are the levels that we're looking at. And hey, you never know what could happen. We might just break through all of these tomorrow. It's stranger things have happened. So those are the levels we're looking at in here. IV is going to be through the roof tomorrow. Volume is going to be crazy. So we'll see what happens here in the SPY. All right, guys, if you like this video, make sure to check us out on all of our social media. We also have a Discord service if you're interested, and you can find all of our socials in the description below.